Selena Gomez, actress, singer, producer, philanthropist. At just 30, she had already conquered the world. But behind red carpets, platinum albums, and Netflix deals, something much darker was unfolding. In 2020, during a casual conversation on Miley Cyrus's Instagram Live, Selena dropped a truth bomb the world didn't see coming. Recently, I went to one of the best mental hospitals in America, and I discussed that after years of going through a lot of different things, I realized that I was bipolar. Just like that, she exposed a deeply personal battle, a diagnosis she had kept hidden for years. No press release, no big documentary, just raw, unfiltered truth. Pause. Music shifts, low, somber piano. But what made this moment so powerful wasn't just the admission. It was the calm way she said it. Even when she was hospitalized, even when her mental health was shattering, headlines still said, "Selena's acting out." Fame doesn't pause for healing, but your mind and body, they eventually force you to stop. And for Selena, that breaking point came hard. Do you think celebrity pressure makes mental illness worse? Comment yes or no below. Let's talk about it. Like, share, and subscribe if you believe stories like these deserve to be heard, not hidden. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle. There comes a moment when the mask slips, when the performance ends, when your body and mind say, "No more." For Selena Gomez, that moment came in late 2016. After months of pushing through anxiety, depression, and unrelenting pressure, she vanished from the spotlight. No appearances, no concerts, no posts, just gone. In truth, Selena had checked herself into a mental health treatment center. She later said, "I was depressed, anxious. I started to have panic attacks right before getting on stage. I felt I wasn't good enough." Imagine being adored by millions and still feeling worthless. Doctors called it burnout, a breakdown. But for Selena, it was survival. She wasn't just saving her mind, she was saving her life. She chose silence over spotlights, healing over headlines, and for the first time, she wasn't performing. Footage of Selena on stage, smiling, then crossfades into a darkened dressing room. Overlay quote from her 2017 AMA speech, "I had to stop because I had everything, and I was absolutely broken inside." Montage of headlines, Selena checks into rehab, fans concerned, "Where is Selena?" Muted audio of media chatter builds pressure. Quiet footage of her walking alone, no makeup, candid. Have you ever needed to unplug for your sanity? Drop a light bulb emoji if you've ever hit your breaking point and found the courage to reset. And please, subscribe to stay with us as we go deeper into Selena's hidden battle. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle. In today's world, your phone is your stage and your battlefield. For Selena Gomez, social media wasn't just a place to connect. It became a war zone. With over 100 million followers, every post was dissected, every word twisted, every photo judged. But behind the perfectly lit selfies was a woman breaking down. She admitted, "I would get triggered. I would look at Instagram and compare myself. I felt like I wasn't pretty enough, not thin enough, not good enough." Imagine trying to heal while strangers debate your weight, your worth, your emotions, daily. Dramatic pause. And so, she made a bold move. Selena deleted Instagram from her phone. She handed over control to her team. For a public figure, that's not just detox, that's rebellion. And for the first time in years, Selena began to breathe without filters, without comments, without the noise. Have you ever had to step away from social media for your mental health? Comment yes if you relate. Hit like and subscribe, because in this world of noise, the real stories deserve to be heard louder. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle. When you're famous, everyone wants to be around you. until you start falling apart. Selena Gomez may have had millions of followers, but in her darkest moments, she had to ask, who's really here for me? Over the years, she quietly distanced herself from parts of her old circle. Some friendships faded, some ended suddenly. Longtime fans noticed. No more photos with certain friends, no more collabs, no explanations. When asked about her tight inner circle, Selena revealed, "I don't want people around me who just want to be part of the industry. I want people who truly care." Her best friend Raquel, her mother Mandy, and later, actress Francia Raisa. These were some of the few who stayed when the spotlight dimmed. And yet, even among them, tensions brewed. Francia famously donated a kidney to Selena, but later, they unfollowed each other. Fans speculated. Rumors flew. Mental health struggles don't just test you, they test every relationship you have. Selena learned the hard way. Healing means letting go, even of people you once loved. Demi, Taylor Swift, Francia, Raquel, slowly fading to black and white as narration questions loyalty. Headphone. Selena's recovery wasn't just about meds or therapy. It was about boundaries and the courage to walk away from toxic support. Tag a real friend who showed up when it mattered most. Or comment real ones only if you've had to cut ties to protect your peace. And don't forget, hit like, share, and subscribe if you're still with us. The real story is still unfolding. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder. The hidden battle. Therapy, meds, and the real struggle. Therapy isn't glamorous. Medication isn't magical. Recovery isn't linear. Even with the best doctors, the most luxurious facilities, and endless resources, Selena Gomez still struggled. She spent weeks in treatment centers, some of the most respected in the world. But healing, that took time. Her diagnosis didn't fix things. It only gave her a name for the monster she'd been living with. Selena began therapy. She experimented with medications. She journaled, meditated, listened to her body. Some days were okay. Some were unbearable. She once said, "I've had to retrain my thoughts to stop the spirals before they start." But even now, years later, she admits, there are still days where it all feels like too much. That's the truth about bipolar disorder. It doesn't vanish. You learn to manage it. And that journey, it's personal, unpredictable, and ongoing. Softly lit footage of Selena in therapy sessions from her documentary, meditating, writing in her journal. Therapy isn't weakness. Medication isn't failure. And struggling, even after diagnosis, doesn't mean you're broken. If you've ever taken a step toward healing, no matter how small, drop a brain in the comments. And make sure to subscribe. We're building something bigger than just one story. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle. Selena's message to the world. For years, Selena Gomez was silent about her pain. Now, she's using that pain to speak for millions. In 2020, after publicly revealing her bipolar diagnosis, Selena made a decision to stop hiding and to start helping. She founded the Rare Impact Fund, a mental health initiative with one bold goal: raise $100 million for free mental health services. Through her brand, Rare Beauty, she began funding organizations that provide therapy access, youth education, and crisis support. But it wasn't just about money, it was about honesty. She began speaking at mental health conferences, hosting open conversations on Instagram, telling young people, "You are not alone." Her documentary, My Mind and Me, wasn't filtered. It wasn't glamorous. It was real, and that's why it mattered. Because when someone like Selena speaks, people listen. And for millions struggling in silence, her voice became a lifeline. Selena didn't choose to be an advocate. Life chose her, and she rose to the challenge. Comment, speak loud, if you believe more stars should talk about mental health. And if Selena's message moved you, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need hope today. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle, the stigma in Hollywood. For years, Selena Gomez was silent about her pain. Now, she's using that pain to speak for millions. In 2020, after publicly revealing her bipolar diagnosis, Selena made a decision to stop hiding and to start helping. She founded the Rare Impact Fund, a mental health initiative with one bold goal: raise $100 million for free mental health services. Through her brand, Rare Beauty, she began funding organizations that provide therapy access, youth education, and crisis support. But it wasn't just about money. It was about honesty. She began speaking at mental health conferences, hosting open conversations on Instagram, telling young people, "You are not alone." Her documentary, My Mind and Me, wasn't filtered. It wasn't glamorous. It was real, and that's why it mattered. Because when someone like Selena speaks, people listen. And for millions struggling in silence, her voice became a lifeline. Selena didn't choose to be an advocate. Life chose her, and she rose to the challenge. Comment, speak loud if you believe more stars should talk about mental health. And if Selena's message moved you, like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need hope today. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle, the stigma in Hollywood. And if this part hit you hard, share it. Help change the way we talk about healing. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle. What we can learn from Selena. Selena Gomez isn't just a pop star or a mental health advocate. She's a mirror. Because her story isn't just about bipolar disorder. It's about being human in a world that expects perfection. It's about feeling broken, even when everything looks fine on the outside. It's about having the courage to say, "I'm not okay," and not being ashamed of it. So, what can we learn from her journey? First, mental illness doesn't care about status, money, or fame. It can affect anyone. You're not alone. Second, you don't have to wait until you're falling apart to ask for help. You're allowed to take breaks. You're allowed to say no. Third, boundaries save lives. Whether it's social media, toxic relationships, or unrealistic expectations, protect your peace. And finally, your story matters. Not after you're healed, not when it's pretty, but now, right in the middle of your mess. Selena reminded us that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's power, it's connection, it's healing. Selena's journey is personal, but the lessons are universal. In our final episode, Part 12, we'll bring this story full circle. What's next for Selena? And what can we all do to change how the world sees mental health? If her story touched you, drop a red heart in the comments. Or tell us, what's the biggest thing you learned from her? And if you haven't already, subscribe and share this, because someone else out there needs this message just as much as you did. Selena Gomez and bipolar disorder, the hidden battle. We started with a question: what happened to Selena Gomez? And what we found was far more than a diagnosis. This wasn't just a celebrity breakdown. It was a quiet, courageous transformation. Selena didn't choose this battle, but she chose to face it, publicly, honestly, and with purpose. She shattered the silence. She challenged the stigma. And in doing so, she made it okay for millions to speak up, too. Bipolar disorder doesn't define her. And if you're struggling, it doesn't define you either. Pause. Let it breathe. This series was never about gossip. It was about truth, humanity, and the reminder that behind every spotlight, there's a story. And sometimes, behind the smile, there's a scream waiting to be heard. So the next time you scroll past a headline or hear someone joke about being bipolar, remember this story. Be kind, be curious, be louder than the stigma. Montage recap. Selena as a child, on stage, in hospital, in therapy, and smiling while creating Rare Beauty. If this story moved you, don't let it stop here. Comment your story, tag a friend. Share this with someone who needs to know they're not alone. and subscribe to Behind the Mask, where we reveal the hidden battles behind the world's most public lives. Because healing starts with being heard. This was Selena's story, but next it could be yours.